Cruise news time. Well, another tragic story of a couple not being able to go on their cruise because of testing. It was their 44th anniversary, for goodness sakes. Did Royal do them dirty? Plus, Disney makes a big change when it comes to Bahamas cruises. And speaking about the Bahamas, well, now they're on the you should not go there list. Cruise news time. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Lido, Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with the latest cruise news updates. Well, let's talk about it. I've been getting hit right and left. How come you haven't talked about the Utah couple that got stranded at the cruise port? All right, here it is. Utah couple wanting to celebrate their 44th wedding anniversary. They decide that they're going to go on a cruise on Royal Caribbean's Independence of the Seas. And they're all ready to go on their cruise. They're fully vaccinated. And at one point in time, if you were fully vaccinated, you did not require a negative test to get on the cruise ship. But as the Delta variant has raised its ugly head, many cruise lines have implemented a policy that says you have to show up at the cruise port with a negative COVID test. Now, this couple, the couple in question, again, it's not really about the people, it's about the circumstance. The couple in question said they received an email 2 days before their cruise telling them that they had to have a negative COVID test. And the dates are important here. The cruise was on August the 15th. They got this email on the 13th saying that they needed to have a COVID test when they showed up on the 15th. They went to their local pharmacy, got a test cooking, and then they also, just to be extra careful, they took a home test and they had results from the home test. And so they showed up at the cruise port in Galveston. They did not yet have the results from the pharmacy test that they took, and then the home test results were not accepted by Royal Caribbean. So once the home test results were not accepted, they went into scramble mode like other people at the port. They found a local pharmacy that could give them a rapid test. They went to do that, but when they returned to the cruise port, embarkation was over, and they were not allowed to board their cruise. Now, I've seen this covered in the media quite a bit, and it's covered as a, oh, can you believe that Royal Caribbean did these people wrong? They dropped this testing requirement on them last minute, and then they wouldn't take their home test, and then they wouldn't wait for them. What's the deal, bub? Well, look, I'm going to keep beating the drum. You got to check your protocols a lot. Royal Caribbean on July the 29th announced that their cruise would be requiring a test. A good 15 days before their cruise, Royal Caribbean made public announcements, and this is what I'm interested to see. Did you cruise with Royal Caribbean in the month of August? Sometime late July, early August, did you get some sort of notification by email that you would need a test before you go to the cruise port? I know I covered it. I know I covered when they did this. I'm not saying that everybody should be watching me, but I'm just saying I know it hit the radar at the end of July that because of the rise of the Delta variant, that Royal Caribbean would be requiring tests even for vaccinated people. Now, I'm not saying that these people got an email that they ignored. However, they took a home test, which you could have went to the website and found out that that home test was not valid. They do accept a home test, but you have to have it done in front of a doctor, like a teleconference kind of thing. All that information is out there. If they'd gone to the website a week before their cruise, they would have seen the testing requirement. I've seen a lot of people piling on to Royal Caribbean like, oh, people are getting done wrong right before their cruise. It's on you. Again, I know that sounds heartless. That sounds cold. There's going to be people out there that say that people don't know how to read a web page, that people don't know how to check what their protocols are before their cruise. This ain't the time to cruise. If you can't figure out what your protocols are a week before your cruise, then this ain't the time to cruise. It's harsh. I know it sounds harsh. I mean, I'm empathetic to the people's plight here, but I just hate the way that the media slants this like they were only told 2 days before their cruise. Royal Caribbean's a bunch of jerks. No, they were told 15 days before their cruise. Now, does that mean that somebody has to call every person on a cruise or stop by their house or really tap on their shoulder and say, check on your protocols? I don't think so. And the report I read said that maybe 20 other people had the same problem. So this couple and 20 other people showed up at the cruise terminal and they didn't have a negative test to get on the cruise. But on the flip side, hundreds of people showed up at the cruise terminal and knew exactly what they needed. So what do you do in that circumstance? Is Royal now wrong that they got hundreds of people to do the right thing, but they got 22 people that didn't? But look, the cruise restart is tough. I'm not carrying the water for the cruise lines. I'm saying when the cruise lines deserve to be given a hard time, give them a hard time. But over these testing protocols, when everything is changing rapidly in the world, I don't know where you're at in the world that you don't know that things are changing so rapidly. You got to check it out. You got to check it out, and you can't just wait until 2 days before your cruise and be, oh, I'm surprised by a change in protocols. I'm going to keep beating that drum. That's why I didn't cover the story. I didn't want to get worked up about it. Yeah, I hate that these people missed their vacation. It sucks. And now it's all over the news media like Royal did them wrong. But in reality, this is another case of people that did not check their health protocols until cruise time. They probably wouldn't have checked it unless they got the email. And so do your due diligence if you're cruising right now and know what you're supposed to have and know that it could change. Check it often. I've read my Princess protocols that's happening in 18 days. I've read it 4 days in a row. I keep waiting for something to change. That's that story. How about that? All right, let's transition over to some news about Disney Cruise Line. Disney Cruise Line, the next cruise line to fall in line with the new protocols that have been enacted on the heels of the emergency protocols that were enacted in the Bahamas. Last week, the Bahamian government said, look, we do not want any cruise ships here that have unvaccinated passengers on them unless those unvaccinated passengers are too young to get the vaccine. That means they are younger than 12 or they have a medical exemption. So cruise lines have altered their policies. If you're cruising soon to the Bahamas, pay attention here. If you're not looking for yourself, if you are unvaccinated, we talked about it the other day. Carnival has an exemption process. All of that changed. So make sure you check with your cruise line to see what your deal is. But now Disney says, look, if you're unvaccinated, if you're 12 and older and you're unvaccinated, you can't cruise on any of these cruises to the Bahamas. That includes their private island, Castaway Cay. I don't know that Disney's making a medical exemption. I looked for that. I know that Carnival's going to do a medical exemption, but right now on the Disney announcement, it says if you are 12 or older, you have to have a vaccine. If you can't have a vaccine, then you cannot go on this cruise. Of course, kids that are younger than 12, they can go on the cruise because they cannot be vaccinated, and the Bahamas will accept that. And this emergency Bahamian order is only running through November. So again, a signal as to how rapidly things are changing. We could go a month down the road. We could see Delta recede. That would be great. We could see Delta recede, and then all the rules change again. I guess that's the theme for today's show. The rules are changing. So yeah, Disney, if you're on a Disney cruise, if you're unvaccinated, if you're over the age of 12, check with Disney and see what you can do, because if you're going to the Bahamas, if you have a Bahamian stop, including Castaway Cay, you're not going to be able to go. But wait, there's more. I do have a story about how the CDC feels about the Bahamas right now. I will break that down for you in just a second, but first let me quickly invite you to subscribe. If you like staying up to date with everything that's going on in cruising, please consider subscribing with the notification bell on. That way you don't miss out on any of the episodes. It doesn't cost anything. Yeah, we're trying to get to 100 billion subscribers. So we could use your help. If you're not a part of the 1 billion subscribers right now, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe and the like button. Thank you in advance. All right, very simple story. The CDC done jacked the Bahamas up to the highest level. They put a bunch of countries on the list that are having challenges right now with outbreaks, and they're saying really you should not travel to the Bahamas for any reason, whether you're vaccinated, not vaccinated. Stay away, keep out. Again, this isn't a restriction, not a mandate. They're not going to stop you from doing it, but they're saying you should not. And so yes, level 4, travel advisory warning, the highest risk from the CDC for the Bahamas. And much like the guidance that came out from the CDC last week for people with pre-existing conditions, the old, the overweight, the infirmed, just because those guidelines are out there does not mean that the cruise lines will act upon them and change their itineraries or change their policies. And so just because the CDC is now saying don't go to the Bahamas, it's not an automatic that cruises to the Bahamas will be canceled. So don't draw that line. I've seen that before. Again, this is only guidance coming from the CDC, not mandates. and it'll be up to the businesses, the cruise lines, to decide what they do with that information. And then, of course, it's up to the individual to decide what to do with that information. Nothing is mandated, just recommended. Boom, that's your cruise news. And look, I'm really not as edgy as I feel like I sound. I'm actually having a great day. It's a wonderful Wednesday. I don't mean to get worked up, but what do you think? Did Royal do this couple wrong? How about that? Were you affected by the Disney? Was a cancellation day for you? And does this new warning from the CDC give you pause? Give you pause. There's a poll running right now that asks that very question. When the CDC says something about travel, do you consider it, or do you give them a salute and say, no, thank you for your advice? Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for checking out the show today. Please show your support by hitting the like button, or on your next cruise when you're digging through your toiletry bag, there's not going to be any Q-tips. And if you like Q-tips, that's going to be annoying. This is Tony with Lido, Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.